calls. Okay. It's been a lot of calls that we've been trying to get on. But I want to stick to the calendar so that we stay on track so that everyone can kind of help understand what we're doing. And then I'll post this in the team page so that they can check it out when they get a chance to do it. So, okay. So what I wanted to kind of do was go over Instagram so that you can kind of understand Instagram basics and get a good feel for what we're doing and what you have on Instagram. So I know you're going to be driving, so you can kind of listen and hear what we have going on. And then for those, when you get home, you can kind of re-listen to it, or if you want to like circle back and say, oh, I want to see again what she was doing. So Instagram has been really my jam. And like you and I talked about, Mandy, focus on Facebook if that's where you have your natural market, definitely focus on that. But I would spend a little time growing your Instagram because you're going to reach out to so many more people. It makes a huge difference. Right. So in your Instagram, when you want to look at your basics, the first thing I would do, and Erin talked about this last night, is finding your rhythm. Writing down, and we talked about this too, writing down everything about you that makes Mandy so freaking awesome, okay? And you want to think about the things that that you love to do. So I'm thinking about you. So you are into fashion. You have done hair. So, you have a whole little market there of people like, I am not creative and I can barely do my own hair. So, like you have a whole circle in that regard. There's so many things about you that make you you. And so you want to write all those things down so that you can kind of have an idea of like what makes me me. And then you can start to dig into that. So you can start to look at hashtags for you. So there is a website called Display Purposes. And that website is great for, and I'm going to put it here in the chat, you can put in different hashtags and it will allow you to look at other hashtags that are revolved around that. So typically when I look at a hashtag, I'm looking at a hashtag of around 10,000 people most. And the reason I'm looking at that is because I want to make sure that if you post or use that hashtag, there's so many people in that hashtag, your post is going to get so lost in the shuffle, okay? So you want to find hashtags that really narrow in on who you are and what you're about so that you can, if you use that hashtag in a post, your post is going to come up. You can search that hashtag and you're going to be like, there I am, there I am, there I am. And so Display Purposes allows you to look at the other options of those hashtags so that you can kind of see where it is that you fall in line. So for an example, I was going to pull these up and then I lost them. I have 5 different hashtag groups. I use hashtags for posting too, and we'll talk about that in a second. But they're all different kinds of things that I've used to try to find my people. So here's for an example. Target moms. Okay, so don't just put target because you're going to find like a ton of people, but I have target moms. Proverbs 31 women. So, that Christian-based, Jesus-based women. Mom life for real. So I have a lot with mom, because that's a big part of mine. Mom life for real, working mamas, calling all mamas, mom code, working mom life, working ladies. That would be something you could use. Moms who work. Okay, then I went into like my coffee addiction because I just love coffee. Coffee mom, coffee addicted. I think I've done one before, like coffee first, things like that. I have another Christian one called But First Jesus. I put one in, I love to eat, because I do. I love to eat. You can do one with pets, like you're a big dog mom. You could find not only a dog mom, fur mama, you could find different hashtags based on the type of dogs you have, and there's got to be different things in there. So in one of my posts, I have golden doodles of Instagram, golden doodles of IG, and so then I'll use those whenever I'm posting about Cooper. But then you can go in and find people that you like off of that. And that kind of helps you too. Boy moms, girl moms. So, because I have both. My favorite is hot mess mom, because that's me. So you can find all kinds of different things that are based off of you. And I do it on a lot of different things. So I have it one off my mom life. I have a group off of like empowering women and inspiring them to be better. I have one about healthy foods. So all these different kinds of things I like about me, I create small hashtags, but those are good ones to circle in on what you are good at and what you know best, and find people in that manner. And Erin talked about it last night on that team call as well. She talked about finding big bloggers or people that have huge followings that you can follow. So there's a couple people that I follow that are family bloggers. Like they talk all about their family and all that's going on. I have some that talks about like hair and hair ideas and how to work hair and how to do hair products and stuff like that. And they're products that are like everybody can use and everybody can buy, and it's not like this really expensive stuff. She gives you all kinds of hair tips and sometimes even makeup tips. Let me get in here and tell you who else I have. So when I look at those, I have a collection, which we'll talk about in a second, of people that I use as inspo accounts, okay? And they're people that, like this one's Modern Mom Problems. She has 147,000 followers on hers, and she just talks about celebrating parenting in a modern world, one meme at a time. So when you look at her memes, she has a ton of commenters on there. So if you find somebody that you like that's a blogger and has a ton of following, look at their pictures to say, how many followers do you have? And then how many are commenting on your posts on a consistent basis? So become one of those commenters, and then like the commenters that comment on there too, okay? Those are gonna allow you to, I don't know, are you muted? No, you're good, okay. Yeah, I can. I just wanna make sure if you were talking that I heard you. You wanna make sure to like those people. And all you're gonna do is follow, and you're going to work on just following them in the beginning, okay? Follow. That's the first part of your Success Club tracker, is initiate connections and add followers. So it's 20 minutes long. So what I would do is literally set a timer so that you're doing that for 10 minutes. So maybe you set your timer for 5 minutes. If you have those big groups, those big accounts, Mandy, you can put them in your inspo account so that when you're ready to do that for 5 minutes, you can pull it up and you can say, okay, I'm gonna work off of this one, and I'm gonna just follow as many people as I can in 5 minutes. Reset your timer, do the same in Facebook. Find old high school connections, old, you went to school, in a couple different areas. Follow those people, family members, people you look up to in the community, people, girlfriends of yours. Go back to those people and go into their friends and like their friends, because you probably have lots of mutual friends, but they probably also have friends that are like you. If they are a person that's like you, they probably have friends that are like you as well. So follow. Okay, so I would do 5 minutes in Facebook and 5 minutes on Instagram. If you're for those that would only be doing Instagram, focus on Instagram. Then the other 10 minutes, I would create connections. And so you can now go into those that you have followed. And so the way that would work is you're always going to be lagging a day behind. You're going to follow. Then the next day, you'll follow. And then the connections you make are going to be of the people that you connected with the day before. Because chances are, after you follow them, they're going to be like, yeah, accept. So you're going to get all these new people that accepted your follow request, and now you can go back onto their pages and like on their stuff, okay? You're going to connect with them. Connections are not hard. They really are not. And Erin talked about that on the call yesterday. It's all about true connections, being a good human, and just talking with them. And I think that is one of the things that gets people every time. how do I connect? How do I make that connection? How do I do it without sounding salesy? How do I do it without sounding icky? How do I even go about telling them what I'm doing? You're not. You're going on there and you're saying like, oh my gosh, that dress is adorable. Where did you get it? Holy cow, that place is beautiful. Where's that at? Oh my gosh, that girl, that looks like so much fun. Where are you from? That kind of stuff. You're just connecting with them, and just, even at first, what you're going to do is you're going to like, it's 5, 3, 1. Okay. So your first one is following them, connecting and following with them. You're going to like 5 pictures and you're going to comment on 3 of them. Okay. From there, if they have a story, I love to watch their story. Okay. So now let me show you. On Instagram, and I know you're driving, so you can watch this later, but on Instagram, all your stories are right up here, okay? To me, that's one of the easiest ways to do connections besides your feed, because those are people that want you to check them out. And they're super easy to whip through, and they're super easy to comment on. That looks super yummy. What's the recipe? Oh my gosh, where is that? That looks like so much fun. Your daughter has the best little smile. It makes my heart happy. Little things like that, people love that kind of stuff. And you're being a true human and you're connecting with them and you're just talking about their everyday life. And that's what you want to do. And eventually they're going to come around and they might ask you, they might start to talk to you about what you're doing on your journey. Oh my gosh, I've seen you. I love your post. You're so inspirational. I love watching your workouts, things like that. So that's going to take some time as you start to build that up. I would do stories. Make sure you're posted on your stories as you start to build your Instagram. It'll make a huge difference. You can put your stories on Facebook too, okay? So, and you watch my stories on Facebook and you've posted on there. So go ahead and just post on there every day a few things. You can post on there about your daily life. I would even, like, so for an example, what you're doing right now, I think that would be an awesome thing to add to your story. Oh my gosh, I've been married for 10 years, and just talk, be normal on it. And I know it sounds awkward, but just talk on there and just be like, it's been 10 years. This is the first time Kevin and I have been apart. It's kind of hard. People want to see that. People want to hear that. First of all, if I was watching your stories, I'd be like, oh my gosh, 10 years? That's crazy. I couldn't even, that's awesome for you guys. And that's crazy at the same time. People are going to comment on that. Or even like, got to enjoy dinner with my hubby. He's going to be away for the night. People are going to love that. That's daily life. Watch people's stories and they just want to talk about your daily life. Post a couple on your workouts. Post your shake. Don't necessarily post it and be like, here's me and my shake, but you're going to post on there like, a lot of times I'll do like daily commute and have all my drinks. I'll show my coffee, I'll show my superfoods, and I'll show my water. And I'll label them, H2O, I put superfoods. Sometimes I'll be like, flavor of the day is blah, 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 coffee. I've even sometimes put on there like, my drinking problem continues, right? Because I have all my drinks. And so it kind of gets people to laugh. So things like that. Sometimes I will talk in my stories while holding my shake so that people can see it. And I don't even have to reference it because I'm like, I have it right there in my hand. If you drink Energize, that's a great one too. People are always like, what is that? And if you come up with fun names for them, so you're not saying drinking my Energize every day. People don't know what that is. And if they figure out that you call it that, they're just going to Google search what it is and they're going to go and buy it somewhere else. So when you kind of talk about it in a different method, all my daughter's friends and her know my Energize is unicorn juice. They'll be at dance competitions and they'll be like, Lauren, can we get some unicorn juice? And I'll be like, yeah, I'll make a big batch of it and they'll drink it all together. And a lot of people in my stories will be like, oh my gosh, what is that yellow drink you drink every day? It looks like you love it. Or what is unicorn juice, right? Because you're like, that sounds kind of magical. I would like that. Some people call it Mama Boost. I think Amanda calls it Move Your Booty Juice. Some people call it Mom Crack. So whatever you want to call it, you can call it that. And I think it works out really well. My superfoods, I've tried a couple different things. I've tried my superpower shake. I've tried my mama shake. I don't know. Nothing really stuck. So now I just call it my superfoods. And a lot of times I'll say like, love having a salad in the morning that tastes like a dessert, things like that. So just however you want to do about or go about talking about it. Healthy meal or meal prep. A lot of times I'll post like what I'm eating in some way, shape, or form. Snack, breakfast, lunch, dinner. People love to see what we eat and I like it because I want to show them like I eat like a normal person. I don't eat small meals. I don't restrict what I eat. Like I eat, and I can, eat a good amount of food without feeling starved. Recipes, people love recipes. Like if you make a new recipe for dinner, post what it looks like and then say, message me for the recipe. Sometimes I'll put the recipe on there, but I always like people to message me because then it gets you talking to them. Invitation, promote, group, poll, or call to action. You can do polls on Facebook. I love polls. Polls are good. And polls can be on anything. They can be like, think about everyday life that you think, and you'll start to come up with them more the more you do them. And I'll have a couple in the back of my head. So like one I've been thinking about is, I'm not a big sock fan, but with how cold it is, I've been putting them on. So I thought about taking pictures of my feet and saying team socks or no socks. People love that kind of stuff. People love to do comparison. So if you're going out for the night with Kev, you're like, do I a date night tonight? Do I wear this outfit or do I wear that outfit? People love to see it, and then take a picture later. You can already know what you're going to wear. Take a picture out later with you guys and then post it later and say, went with outfit A, and then you can kind of post it on there. People love to comment on that kind of stuff. They do that all the time. So different things like that, you can think about, like what you want to post. Polls are fun. Let's see. It also has, trying to see what else. Facebook has stickers. People love stickers. Facebook has music, which I love. I love adding music. Location always helps because then it can kind of geotag those people too in that area. So if anyone searches that area, they're going to see your post come up. So that's super fun. So there's lots of things. On Instagram, you have even more. You have the GIFs you can do. You can do different kinds of pictures with different filters, which you can do some of those on Instagram or on Facebook too. They redid Instagram, so I'm kind of playing around with it. Questions is on Instagram. That's a fun one. Like I've done that one. I'll be like, trying to pick a fun movie to watch. What do you guys suggest? People comment on that kind of stuff all the time. Anything that doesn't force them to go out of their comfort zone, people will comment all the time. And the more they comment and you respond, the more people are going to see your stuff. So the more it kind of puts it out there. So those are always good ones to do. Okay, so that kind of talks a little bit about stories on both Instagram and Facebook. The other thing I wanted to talk about on Instagram is collections, okay? So on your Instagram, there's like this little ribbon. I'm trying to see if you can see it. This lighting is terrible. Let me try to turn it this way. Nope, that didn't work either. Okay, on the bottom right corner of your Instagram page, there's like this little ribbon right here. That right there, you can tag things as collections, okay? So what do I tag as collections? I tag any buddy that I see that I think is maybe struggling or might be a great challenger that I can connect with. In the beginning, it used to be, I would put in there, if you breathed, I'm going to put you in there. Now I really kind of look to see, like, would I get along with you? Would you and I, if we were hanging out, would we mesh together? And so I think that makes a huge difference, because it's hard to have connections with people if you're not able to talk with them, right? And if you're not seeing eye to eye. So I have a couple people in the beginning that still kind of come up in my thread, and I haven't gotten rid of them, but I've kind of stopped asking them because they're not my people. And I want, if you join my challenge group and eventually become a coach with me and my tribe, I want to know that, and I'm sure you would be the same way. When I get together with these people at Summit, they are my people, right? Like, I feel comfortable around with them. So, you know, okay, so like for an instance, and Erin kind of talked about this last night, was she doesn't like people that use the F word in their posts. Totally get that. I don't use that F word in my posts, but I say it sometimes. So I want to be with people that are not going to be offended if I say it. But I also go to church on Sunday, and I'm a very strong believer. So, you know, it's kind of like you want to find that person that is going to be okay with you and not feel like this is really not my group. Because for me, part of it is finding the community of, these are my people. Like, I feel comfortable with them. And you want to feel that too. And I want to make sure that any new coaches come in, not only feel that, but then feel comfortable being that way with other people. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
So when you find people, don't hesitate to be a little particular. You know, if they're posting pictures of, and I'm telling you this because it's happened, where I look at them and I'm like, okay, I followed you, but all you're doing is showing pictures of your, you know, like real low cleavage every day. I don't need that in my feed. Like, that's really weird for me. So I unfollow you. Like, that is okay. Unfollow as you see fit, as you're kind of going along. And your news feed in your Instagram should really be your people. So if you find that they're posting negative stuff, you know, really, sometimes people can be real negative, real down, or like I said, their posts are very strange. I'm trying to think what else I've seen. Go ahead and unfollow them. Trying to see if anything has popped up recently. I don't see anything. It looks pretty good for now. So those are the types of things you kind of want to look for. If you find that they are on their fitness journey and maybe they're not doing like what we're doing, I create a collection called Coaches. So when you're on your main page, I go to this little like person on the right hand side. That's yourself. Okay. Oh wait, yeah, I'm backwards here. I was looking at this lady here. I have to keep going backwards. Okay, so when I do that, here's me. Okay, here's a little bit about me. So you'll do a bio, and I can help you with that. Okay, on how to do it. And I think it was in the Coach University, so you can kind of know how to do it. And I do it very simple things on things so that if people looked at who I was, they're going to be like, oh, she's like a real person. I really like her. So I can connect with that. Mom of 2 and a dog, addicted to tacos and coffee, usually at Target, empowering ladies to live fully, and ways to rock and change your life. And then I put a little arrow, a little finger so that you can look at my link tree, which we can talk about later. I wouldn't worry about that yet. And that gives them options to look at. Become a coach. Join my virtual squad. What I have a couple things, different things on there. So that's really nice. Then you'll have highlights, and then you'll have my people. Okay. But under these little lines on the right side, everything is basically on the right. There's saved. So when I go to my saved collections and it has that little ribbon next to it, these are all the collections I have saved. Okay. So what I do is I have, if I find somebody, a good blogger that has really good hashtags that I'm like, oh, I want to check those out, I have a hashtag envy one because I want to see what else I can use, what new ones I can try. I break down my people per month because when I do the connections, I'll go into my January group and I will show love on all the people that I have tagged in here. Now I don't have a ton tagged, because I've been kind of playing around with how I want to do the connections, but I'll go in there and I'll connect with them right there. And so it's just one right after the other, and it's almost like just right there for me to focus in on those, and I don't have to scroll or type in who I'm looking for, like it's all right there. I do the same thing with the coach collection. If I think they'd make a good coach, I put them in a collection. If I don't follow a ton because let me back up. I don't follow a ton of coaches because if I do, I find myself getting into a rabbit hole of constantly watching what they're doing and thinking I should do that and comparing mine with theirs, which is terrible. So I don't follow many. But if I follow some people that are kind of my jam, and I'm like, ooh, I really like that, don't hesitate to use an idea that they post. So if you're ever like, I don't know what to post, sometimes I'll go into my post inspirations and look to see what some of those people have posted to be like, just give me something. And a lot of times I'll be like, ooh, I know what I can do with this. And I have a great picture for that. So that kind of helps too. Or it gives me an idea of like, ooh, I'm gonna try to take a picture like that. Doesn't always work out, but it's okay. We just keep trying. If you find people that are like, oh my gosh, if she was right next to me, we'd get along like that and we'd be best friends. And I think they'd make an excellent coach because they're positive, they're my style, they talk just like me. I put them in Dream Team because I create my Dream Team. And then I make sure to connect with them often so that they can see me, they can keep seeing what I'm doing. And then when you do the invite, a lot of times I've even told them, I'm like, girlfriend, I don't know if you've ever thought about doing what I do, but I would love to share. And I think you're so inspirational. I think you're motivational. And I love that about you. And if you would like to know what I do, I would love to share. Okay, so then they come back and they're like, what is it that you do? And if they do that, you're not sharing enough about what you do in your stories and in your posts. But most of the time they'll come back and they're like, I don't know. I've thought about it, or I've been asked before, or whatever. If the answer ends up being no, a lot of times I say, no problem, girlfriend. Always know that I am here to help you out. If you ever have any questions or just want to check it out, I would love to share. P.S. If you were my neighbor, I think we would be like the best of friends. Just letting you know I put you on my Dream Team list. I would love to rock this out and lock arms with you. That alone, a lot of times women are kind of like, oh my gosh, you are amazing. Because I totally would. And I only send that to the people that I truly would want that to happen. So you want to make sure that you are talking to your people, like, because then it's authentic. It's totally, you're being a good human, you're being honest, you're being authentic, and it can come off much easier. So just remember, it's the same way whether you're selling a challenge pack or you're inviting them to the coaching opportunity, you're talking to them just like you're talking to your BFF about these sweet Taylor Swift tickets or whoever your person is that you would love to go see. You are talking to them about these tickets you got and you totally want to go with this and you're so excited and blah, 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 blah. That's how you're talking to them. Okay. What else do I have? I have a couple other collections, like food ideas. Like if I found some bloggers that have some food recipes, I might put them in there. I put my inspo accounts in there, and then I have all my other months. I used to, for a while, was doing it by day. It got too tricky. So I do my collections by month. So I have a lot of those that I need to work through. Okay. So that kind of gives you that information. Hey, Lily.
Hi, I just have a question. Is that okay if I use a strainer?
Oh, of course, honey. It's under my sink in the bathroom.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Let me see. What else do I do here that I wanted to kind of talk to you about? I think those are the biggest things. You just want to be consistent with your posts. So a lot of times I love Instagram because it will kind of show you like where your insights are, like when you post and when your followers are watching you. So for my people, they're usually checking in on my Instagram posts between 12 and 9. And my highest is around 2 to 3, 4 p.m. So I try to get my post up earlier than later, but sometimes I post it on like around now, 7:30. Sometimes I'll post mid-afternoon. I really want to try to get into the habit of having the post ready to go so I can post around 2 o'clock-ish, 2:30. And then that way for those moms who are in car line, for school pickup,
Thank you.
you're welcome, honey. They can use that and they can check it out while they're sitting in car line. I think that's huge. But that doesn't mean that it's not going to be seen. They're probably not going to see it until later. And that's okay too. Facebook is different. Facebook, you want to constantly get into the habit of commenting and working and engaging with people that you want to engage with, okay? So on Facebook, I created lists. So if you go on your Facebook, there's a group where you can create lists, and those would be people that you think would either make a good challenger or a good coach. And that you can do separate. So you can add people to that list, and then that's a super easy list to go into that feed and get out of your main news feed. And you can comment and like on their comments or on their posts from the beginning. And you can also weed them out. So if you find that you think your friend Molly from church would be a great challenger, and you go in there and she just posts memes all the time, it's really hard to comment on those consistently and build a connection. So sometimes I remove them. But then you can kind of see, so if you comment and post, or you comment and like on their stuff, when you post, you're going to come up in the beginning of their feed because you have been engaging with them and they've been engaging back. And then anytime you post, you always want to make sure you comment on anyone that comments on your stuff. Even if it's like, thank you so much, I appreciate the love. Say something back to them because that's showing Facebook that you're engaging. Not only are they engaging in your post, but you're engaging back. And then those things will come up to the top. So the trick for Facebook is to make sure you're not mindlessly scrolling. You're scrolling with a purpose. So you are wanting to focus on those people that you want to see in your feed. And I would, that's a really hard thing to do in the beginning because you get caught up. I mean, that's what social media is. It's very easy to get caught up. So you have to be intentional and focused, whether you're doing Instagram or Facebook, on what you're doing and how you're connecting with people. And really only scrolling with a purpose and finding those people to connect with them. Your connections out of all this is probably the biggest part of it. When you make the right connections, and that took me the longest time because I would do my calls to actions. I would do my posts, but my connections or my invites ended up not being as warm because I would be like, hey girl, thanks for watching my stories. Have you ever thought about doing what I do? Anymore, people are going to turn away from that because they're like, people are feeling like they're getting sold something all the time. So it's way different when you're finding out who they are, because when you connect with them and you're real human with them, you're going to come around to it eventually. Sometimes it's kind of like pulling teeth. And when it is, it's just not the right connection. Sometimes I'll pull out the invite, most of the time it doesn't work. So if you want to make sure that you're adding value to their life. And one of the things I learned in personal development and through all these webinars and everything that we've done and trainings and everything is the more love you give out, the more that's going to come back your way. So it really just comes back to being a good person and being kind and being genuinely interested in what they're doing, because then people are going to want to talk to you. They're going to want to share with you what's going on. Like last night, I've been having a couple back and forth conversations with this one lady, and she finally, it was very kind of, I don't want to say shallow comments, but she wasn't really engaging. And I said something to her like, I'm trying to think how it was, what I said before she kicked it off. But I said like one simple thing like, oh my gosh, it was something to the effect of like, girlfriend, you need to believe in yourself because I totally do. You can do that. And the next thing you know, I went downstairs, got water, cleaned up the kitchen a little bit, and I came upstairs. This huge, long message about how she's been depressed and how she's trying to lose weight and all these things that she's like, I'm sorry, I just opened up to you. I just felt like you and I had a connection, and I hope this is okay. And I was like, and to me, it's easier to do voice messages because I feel like I can just talk so much more from my heart than typing it. And that makes a difference when people hear your voice and they hear that empathy and that connection in your voice. That makes a huge difference too. And then we talked probably for like 15-20 minutes just about the things she's doing before we both probably crashed. So connecting is the crux of it all. It really, really is. And I think that that's the most important part. So when you're able to do that, your invites will come much easier, whether you're on Instagram or on Facebook. Okay, so I've given you like a million things on the basics. What kind of questions do you have?
One thing that stands out, or I guess one concern that I have more than a question is I start to prepare like my hashtag list.
Yeah.
How taboo is it to use hashtags that like fellow coaches are using? Like, what if I wanted to use a couple of hashtags that you use? Is that
Totally okay. That's totally okay. Because now, you know what's so funny about that is that I used to kind of be the same. I used to kind of worry about the same thing. But I use 21 Social. That's how I've built my that's how I'm building up my following. I wouldn't focus on that yet. Focus on other things, because you can easily spend a lot of money on a lot of different things as a coach. And that's not what you need to do. You can grow your account organically, no problem. You really can. I did up to, I want to say like a couple thousand. I grew it organically. Then I looked at some other things. But I have found that sometimes I'll be following new people and like Micah's following them or a couple other bigger coaches. And that makes me feel good because I'm like, oh, I'm on the same wavelength. I feel like I'm doing good. People are going to connect to different people. So if you and I are using the same hashtags and people are starting to pick up, there might be something about you that they like better than they do about me. And that is totally okay. Because again, you want to find your people. And even though you and I are able to connect on lots of different ways, we are still two different people. And so that's okay. I think if that hashtag connects with you, use that and try to find some others to use with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, totally.
Because after you get that full group, your total, even though we may have the same couple of ones here or there, they're totally going to be different as a whole. So, and your posts are going to be different than my posts, even though you may post, like you might be like, oh, I liked Lauren's post. I'm going to use that as inspiration on mine. Or I'm going to take it and tweak it a little bit on mine, which is okay. People might come to you and be like, I really like Mandy. I really like her, but I can't really relate to Lauren, right? So, you know, she has 2 kids. She lives a different life than Mandy does. Even though we have lots of similarities, we do have some differences. So I think that that's okay. So don't worry about that.
Okay.
Just stay away from like your typical Beachbody hashtags. Don't use like hashtag Beachbody, hashtag Transformer20, hashtag Shakeology. Like don't use any of those. You know, coin phrase your own things. It'll work so much better.
Mhm. Okay.
What else? What other questions do you have?
I don't think I have anything right now. I do want to share with you that I had 2 people approach me today asking what I'm doing. Yeah.
Ah, I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
That is so awesome. How did you feel after
Yeah.
talking with them?
Amazing. The one was face to face, so that was kind of different than doing it over the computer,
Yeah.
right? Because
Yeah.
I have to come up with this on my toes right now. But it was so natural because I'm already benefiting so much and I'm already feeling so much of the beauty in Beachbody.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just like I was really like hyped up and like passionate about it. And I think I'm going to message her later and see if she wants to jump on this with me.
Yeah, for sure. And I always found that's like, okay, so this is what I found has been like gold for me. When you do invites like that, I always come back to people and be like, hey, girlfriend, I was thinking about you today. And okay, so I use girlfriend a lot. I've always used girlfriend all my life. Okay. So a lot of times in the training, yeah. So in your training, sometimes they'll say like, hey, girl, I used it a lot in the beginning. I sometimes use it now, but, or like some people will say like, hey, lady, that's not me. So if you want to talk, if you're texting it or messaging it, use your language, like read it back to you and say, does this sound like something Mandy would say? Mm-hmm. But that's why I like voice message, either in Messenger or on Instagram. And a lot of times I'm like, oh my gosh, girlfriend, I was totally thinking about you today, because most of the time I have been. And I don't know if you would be interested in, but my group is kicking off a new virtual gym boot camp next month. And it gives you all the basics. It talks about, how to get started on this journey. And I would love to share with you. Would you be interested in hearing more about it? You're totally coming from your heart. There's nothing icky about it. You're just letting them know that you were thinking about them. And you just wanted to know if they were interested in hearing more about it. And if they come back and they're like, no, I'm good, I always respond with no problem. I just always want to share it with people in case they are interested in it. But I know we chatted and I thought you'd be wanting more info. And a lot of times if you just say like, would you be interested in hearing more about it? Most of the time, who's going to say no to that? I very rarely get anyone to say like, no, but always end your invite with a question. Always. And don't make it a yes or no answer. You want it to be open-ended. That way they can feel comfortable answering you. They feel like, well, I have to kind of give her an answer. Don't say, if not, no worries, have an awesome day. Because then they're going to be like, great, I'm moving on. You know what I'm saying? So you want to make sure that you kind of leave it open-ended. I think that's awesome. I'm so excited for you.
Thank you. I am too. I really am. It's my first one.
Yeah, for sure. So when you get to the point and they say yes, and you're like, oh my gosh, what do I do now? Message me and I'll walk you right through that.
Definitely.
Yeah. I have some scripting I'd gotten from, I don't remember where, but a while ago, and it's gold. It works every time, and Jill uses it too. It walks people right down the path, and then we'll show you how to do share a cart. Did you ever learn that in Coach University? Was that in there?
They talked about it, but I haven't played around with it yet.
That's okay. It's super simple. So when you get to that point, we'll work through it. It's no big deal.
Cool.
Yeah. Awesome. So your goal should be to help 3 people every month. That should be what your goal should be. Mm-hmm. I am going to post in our team page a good posting schedule. I think it's really good to kind of have an idea of what should I post every day so that you hit all the points, because there's different things you want to do. So like on Mondays, I do a lot of motivational. I share something about my story. I might share a motivational quote. I might share something that motivates them every Monday. Tuesday, sometimes I'll do a motivational tip like what has helped me get done today, or what I've done that's changed to help me on my process or to help me on my journey. Tuesday is also Transformation Tuesday. You could post a transformation, and it doesn't have to be physical. It doesn't have to be without your shirt on, with just a sports bra. It can be a picture of you sitting next to Kevin at dinner versus a picture of you sitting next to him 5 years ago. It does, right. Or even 6 months ago. It doesn't have to be crazy. It could be a picture of you then and a picture of you now. It could be a picture of how you found your smile. It could be a transformation of how your mindset changed. It could be anything about transformation. Wednesday is like a purpose, or depending on how often you post. If I know I'm going to do a transformation and a call to action on Thursday, I might do a funny meme or something on Wednesday. So the post before my call to action, I'll do something funny and engaging. Where do I get a lot of that stuff? From Pinterest. So I'll do a lot of funny memes on different things. It could be like midweek humor. It could be, I do a lot of mom humor, and I'll find stuff that talks about mom life. It could be dog life, dog mom life. It could be all kinds of stuff. So find stuff like that. It could be, just funny jokes or pictures of your dogs. On Facebook, I love questions. So a lot of times I'll be like, you can put on there, give me or drop a picture of your dog. What do you like better, tacos or pizza? Who's your favorite 90s band? Things like that. Favorite Christmas movie, answer in a meme or in a GIF. People love stuff like that, and they'll comment and engage like crazy. So when you do stuff like that, always make sure you're responding. But then after that, your next post will be your call to action, because then you're going to show up in more people's feeds. Okay. Okay, so that's, and then Thursday's transformation or Throwback Thursday. Throwbacks are good. Fridays. So in there, on this schedule, there's something like controversial. You don't have to do that. And even that's kind of like, I talk about it all the time. Like, I go to church, but I cuss a lot. That type of an idea of it. It doesn't have to be that way. A lot of times on Fridays, I'll do like just some fun thing to do on Friday. And then on Saturdays, you can post your why. But a lot of times if I do a call to action, it'll be like Saturday morning so that people can see it before the weekend gets crazy. And then on Sundays,
I dropped connection. I'm sorry, I'm back.
Oh, that's okay. So on Fridays, I'll do like, it says to do something controversial. You don't have to do that. But like in that regards, he's saying like, knowing that you love Jesus, but you cuss a little bit, stuff like that, or a lot, or however whatever. It doesn't have to be that way. Sometimes on Fridays, it'll just be more like, I think I've done stuff like, hope your Friday's filled with coffee and a lot of dry shampoo, or sometimes I'll do one in the evenings, like, getting ready to party, just kidding, on the couch with my pajamas, ready to go to bed at 9:00, things like that. It can be like something fun. People love that kind of stuff. Saturdays, I typically make it very light-hearted. So it just could be something fun you're doing, something about, what you and Kevin are up to. Maybe you're out with your family. Maybe you're playing with your dogs. I like stuff like that. If I ever do a call to action on a Saturday, I'll do it like in the morning, because we can start to get going. And once you hit like 11 o'clock on a Saturday, people aren't typically like really thinking about anything serious, right? They're on weekend mode. So I kind of leave it at that. And then Sundays, sometimes Sundays in the morning, I'll post like church or family life. A lot of times I just do that kind of stuff in my stories about coffee and what I'm doing to get my week, or how I start planning for my next week before I go to church. But then Sunday evening, I always do a call to action post for coaching. So it could be lots of different things. So don't ever hesitate to do an audit of my Instagram and kind of see the different things I post. Some work, some don't. Some have worked. I'll try to reuse it again, and then it flops the next time with a different picture or different wording. I'll try to change it up a little bit if it's been a long enough time. So play around with it. And don't get frustrated if you're like, I posted something and nothing in it was a bomb. That's okay. We're going to learn, and we're going to fail sometimes. And as long as you learn from failing, that's all that matters. So.
Right.
All right. Well, if you have any more questions? I don't want to cut you off if you do. I hope that helped. Did you find that helpful? You're kind of cutting in and out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
No. It's okay. It's totally okay. Awesome. Okay. Well, I know we were going to talk about the next game plan for next week or for next month. Really quickly, I'm just going to say this, and then I'll make I'll make a graphic and post it on the team page too so people can kind of see what the game plan is. I want to do a free nutrition group. I think one that's a great start for you to invite people to. I love free groups because free groups are a great way to invite people without feeling like you have to sell them something. Because I think in the beginning, you're always so worried about like selling somebody something. I love free groups, and nutrition is always key. So I'm figuring that out tonight or tomorrow so we can get that going and when to post. Where I'm struggling is that this month is $20 off the To Be mindset. And in February, they don't have it. Let me see. I don't know if it'll still be on sale. So I really kind of want to take advantage of that. And I want it to be short enough that we can get effectiveness in it, but yet give them a chance to tell them that we're going to be doing a nutrition group in February. So typically what I do is when we do a free group, that helps us kick off into the next group. So it helps you either lock in Success Club the month of and kind of helps you lock in then Success Club early in the month, the next month as you come around. So if you have any fence sitters, then they kind of pop in then the next week. So I think nutrition would be really key. So I'm just trying to figure out when to do it, and then I will give you the event so you can invite. The best way to invite to an event, I'll share all that with you. I'll go live so that you can be ready to do it. But kind of start thinking about it so when you are ready to do it, a lot of times I've done, when I've done a crockpot meal, I've like posted me in a crockpot and be like, free group, you know, and I'll give you guys wording so you can kind of post something similar, but with a picture with yourself. But Instagram doesn't necessarily like a lot of words with pictures because it makes it look like we're being salesy. So you kind of have to change your pictures a little bit without having any words in it, so that it comes up in more people's feeds. And Facebook, I don't really know if that matters in theirs. But I'll give you a very super simple way to do it. We can start to add stuff in your stories. So one of the easiest ways that I put it is like putting a picture of my dinner plate and saying like, you know, recipe, or something like, you know, recipe will be posted next. Having something like have a free group for nutrition, or need help with meal ideas, comment below for my free group, or DM me for the free group. Whether they DM me or not, I still invite them. Be like, oh my gosh, thanks so much. I hope you get to try that recipe. It was so super yummy. We're doing a free group with a bunch of new recipes for blah, blah, blah. I got to figure out what that's going to be. Would you be interested in joining the group? And you're on Facebook already, so your people are already going to be there. And a lot of people are like, yeah, I want some free, you know. And sometimes people might say like, is there a catch? Nope, totally free. I don't care if they join us or not. The key is that we're adding value to those people. So, and then I'll be able to get it all set up for us so you guys can just hop in it and kind of see how it runs, see what you need to do, and eventually we'll get you guys going on being a participant in the groups themselves. So come February, whatever group we run, because we'll start then using it to promote the next group, and that will help a lot. Keep going. Okay. All right. I will let you go. I'm going to go have dinner, and I hope you have a good night. You will do awesome.
All right. Thank you so much.
Okay. You are so welcome. Talk to you soon.
Okay.
Okay. Bye.